your mother was married to
my father.
To your father. Hey, these days, you know, that's something.
My father was a man named Eddie Fisher, and they were best friends with Elizabeth Taylor and her husband at the time, Mike Todd. Mike Todd tragically passed away in a plane accident, and my father consoled Elizabeth with his penis.
I love you. I've always loved you. I love you more every time I see you. I couldn't have put it better myself.
Where are you, dear? Come here, come on. Come on, Junie, don't you want to see the kid? Come on, sing it for your old mother. Besides, I have to retire soon.
I had been singing in my mother's act since I was about 13.
Would you sing my favorite for me? It's for Junie and Jerry. Don't say no. Just sing right out.
My mother wanted to be able to groom me for show business.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will drive them away.
The biggest thing I did that broke my mother's heart was not do a nightclub act.
When times get rough,
My mother would say, do drugs, do whatever you need to do, but why don't you sing?
like a bridge
That was my big rebellion.
over, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled.
Carrie's daddy, Eddie, had a great voice, you know. Really beautiful voice. I guess she doesn't want to be Eddie and she doesn't want to be Debbie. She wants to be Carrie. So she'll do it her way.
I'm gonna ease your mind. I will ease your mind.
I love that voice. Isn't that a great voice? Wish I had it.
Stardom came at about the age of 2 hours, didn't it, for you?
I don't have a clear memory of that, but they tell me. I've seen the pictures, yeah.
This was Life magazine.
Well, you know, the Africans believe that when you're photographed, it steals your soul. So by that reckoning, I never had one. Maybe I'll get it back through the same process.
You know I'm crazy about you.
No, why?
Because you're such a gonk.
And you know why I love you?
Why?
Because you're beautiful and you're mine.
Come on like a dream, peaches and cream, lips like strawberry wine.
Have you ever made it with a guy?
No. You ever make it with a girl?
Well, are you?
Am I what? What are you talking about?
Making it with my mother.
How come you would be working in a nightclub act at age 13? Was that allowed? You have to get some kind of special waiver,
I guess
or what?
so, unless if it wasn't, I'm sure in trouble now. But yes, I worked from 13 to 16 in Las Vegas as part of my mother's act.
Right. What'd you do in the show?
I sang and flung my chords around and so on.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What else did you do to kill the time in Vegas? You get on page people?
Page people by the pool. Adolf Hitler, please. Mr. Hitler, please.
You're kidding.
Well, you're 13. You want to make Greta Garbo, and you get people looking at it.
How has it changed your life, though, being in this incredible movie, and now the sequel?
I have much nicer furniture.
What other questions do they ask you on the book tour?
They ask me a lot about Elizabeth Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Do I resent her? Is it a vendetta? Am I going after her? Do I have a contract out on it?
Yeah. That's an interesting question to ask, I guess because they see her as...
The breaker up of the fabulous Debbie and Eddie team, my parents.
Yeah, and did you perceive it that way at the time, or even now?
No, I'm starting to now. I didn't resent Liz till this tour, and now...
You think you can talk your way out of this? You betrayed me.
No, I didn't. Honest. I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
Hey, this is great pot!
The quote in the book, lost her virginity a total of 3 times. Explain that.
Well, if you don't lose it in a way that you like, initially, I think you should keep losing it until it works. I mean, it is weird.
You think it's weird?
Well, you could be walking down the street with someone, you know, and probably like 13 hours earlier, your face was in their genitals or something, and now...
If I had to worry about what people thought about my life, though, I don't think I would ever function. I mean, I grew up in a place where that's basically all you do on a certain level. And so you sort of get past that. I mean, I worry about what people think, and then I do whatever I'm going to do anyway.
Remember what happened with David Warsaw? His wife left him and everyone said, give him some time, don't move in too fast. 6 months later, he was dead.
What are you saying? I should get married to someone right away in case he's about to die?
At least you could say you were married. I'm saying that the right man for you might be out there right now, and if you don't grab him, someone else will, and you'll have to spend the rest of your life knowing that someone else is married to your husband.
You're a great friend of people.
Yes, I am.
You know?
I'm the best friend you can have. I don't know about the best wife and all the other stuff. Because I'm loyal, because I'm alert, because I'm fierce, because I'm, well, I could be accused of being tender, because I will go the distance with you.
Vulnerable.
Unfortunately, yeah. And I am weak, and I am, through that weakness is what you would find my strength.
Rolling.
Don't use any of this. Don't
Okay, Carrie, 3. Ready? Yep.
I love these movies, and actually they've become better for me now because I have a daughter, and she loves them.
I loved that Princess Leia was a very strong woman, and I adored how feisty Carrie Fisher was. I could really sense and feel her fire. And that was important for me as a young girl, to see that kind of woman.
She's very sure of herself, very funny, very, together, very worldly.
Ce n'est pas une victime, la princesse. Elle est très forte. Et c'est bien, il n'y a pas beaucoup de femmes fortes dans les films maintenant.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. When I first saw Harrison on the set of Star Wars, he struck me as, I don't know, epic in a way. He had that icon energy. He had that Tracy Bogart thing. I was 19 and he was 63. I love you.
I know.
Whenever I start to talk, Harrison gets nervous. And you really should stop getting so nervous, because it turns out I have a terrible memory, which should relax a lot of people in this room.
What was hideous
about it? We grew
about
up together. I mean, what we did, we became famous together, so you do get sort of tired of talking about it. But we sort of launched into the public eye at the same time. So the difficulty was, I thought Harrison did so well at it. I was 20, and he was 33 or 4 when the film came out. And Harrison was really good at doing interviews. He'd taken philosophy in college, so he would quote philosophers liberally in his interviews. And so I wanted to do that. So when I got back from the junket, I got tutored in philosophy so that I could, quote philosophers when referring to Harrison. I think Nietzsche had Harrison in mind when he said, Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alle schläft. Well, maybe not alle schläft, but the Stille Nacht, absolutely, definitely.
I love you.
What's up?
My mother found a diary of mine that said in it that I wanted to be a writer, and I wasn't really that interested in being an actress.
How did you feel about your mother finding a diary and reading it?
Well, that's Mom.
I had to find this out the hard way. Not that I crossed her. I was her in the sense that she played essentially me in my semi-autobiographical screenplay, Postcards from the Edge, and after Postcards premiered, I began daily to see the pain and disappointment in the eyes of my family and friends. Every time I wasn't Meryl. There's a name for this condition, as it turns out. Meryl-noma.
I followed Carrie Fisher around for a while, and she and I became, and still are, very good, close friends.
Meryl, you're either the best friend a person could have, or the best damned actress in the world. I love you.
What do you say to a woman or a man watching now who really would like to take a shot at writing? I mean, they're not Carrie Fisher, so they don't have the name recognition, but they really feel they've got a good idea.
Well, there was a thing that I read that that Hemingway said in it, which was when you write the truest thing you know. And that seemed to be, I mean, I don't know how to advise people on going to publishers and stuff, but if you really like to communicate and you like expressing yourself, which I really did,
yeah,
then do that. If you really have to do it, do it.
I knew I'd write a movie, and so I thought, good subject, you know, a lot of people do drugs. I figure I'll do some, go into rehab, and it'll make a screenplay.
I've seen you smoking a cigarette just today.
That was not a cigarette. No.
Do you still miss drugs?
Oh, yeah. You have any?
I'm very frantic personally myself. I like to be serene. So yes, I miss chemical serenity on occasion.
Why drugs for you?
Oh, God, it's not a stupid question. I had no coping skills. In terms of when I have a pedigree for it.
Yeah.
My father does it, and my mother to a far lesser extent, but my mother enjoys drinking when she's having some problems, so I watched it, and I'm a very good learner. Yes, it was a lot. But you know what? At the end of the day, I was the strong one. I mean, perhaps my strength was based out of my weakness, but, you know, we do grow into those roles that our parents assign us. I've done exactly what my mother has done. I mean to the T. My mother became famous. She did her first film at 17, Me Too, became famous at 19, Me Too, married a short Jewish singer, different time, Me Too.
I'm my mom's best friend. I share everything with my daughter.
That's right.
Especially the check.
Far more than I ever would want to. I know what my mother feels and wants.
Now, just do what your mother says. It makes life easier.
As if.
There's a lot of it.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Han Solo, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic because George Lucas ruined my life. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. 57 years ago, I did his little Star Wars film, a cult film that then went on to redefine what they laughingly refer to as the face of cinema. And now, 65 years later, people are still asking me if I knew it was going to be that big of a hit. Yes, I knew. We all knew. The only one who didn't know was George. We kept it from him because we wanted to see what his face looked like when it changed expression.
Think at any time about playing yourself?
Ugh. I don't even like to do it in real life, wherever that is.
Real? What the hell is it? They keep making things called reality TV. That's a contradiction in terms. If you can film it, it's not real, just so you know. And though amongst your many possessions you have owned my likeness, lo, all these years, so that
Every time I look in the mirror, I have to send you a check for a couple of bucks. I mean, it's not like anything before it, you know? It was just this kind of event, and it was a fairy tale. George is a sadist. But like any abused child wearing a metal bikini changed to a giant slug about to die, I keep coming back for more.
Hello, I'm Princess Leia or garnered. Fly me to Alderaan.
Not to mention, you had the unmitigated gall to let that chick, the new girl who plays my mother, Queen Amadillo, or whatever her name is, she wears a new hairstyle and outfit practically every time she walks through a door. I mean, I bet she even got to wear a bra, even though you told me I couldn't because there was no underwear in space.
What's the one thing about Star Wars that you've never revealed?
One time, Alec Guinness gave Mark Hamill 10 pounds to go away.
You know, Carrie, you know, she would say, you know, she saw the movie and she said, you know, that freshly punched look you have, that'll take you far. I thought, I went, thanks?
Carrie Fisher, 19.
I think I am Princess Leia and Princess Leia is me. It's like a Mobius striptease.
So I think George did get confused. The less clothing on women, the more confused he is. Probably in a good way.
General Kenobi, years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars.
Well, now, he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire.
I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person. But my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed.
I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it.
You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. This is our most desperate hour.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
She led me without even knowing I was being led. I don't know if I said this tonight. She came to see me on Broadway and she goes, "What's with your bullshit bio?" You know, it was like my third or fourth show on Broadway. I'd already done more shows than she had. And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You don't even mention the movies by name." She goes, "What?" I said, I mentioned them. She goes, "Yeah, it says Hamill, known for a series of space-themed films." Made his Broadway debut in such and such and such and such and such and such. So, and I said to her, I really got my back up. I said, "Well, it's theater, Carrie. They don't take Star Wars seriously. I mean, the critics probably have it out for me just because I'm in those movies." And she said, "Mark, I'm Princess Leia. You're Luke Skywalker. Get used to it and get over yourself."
I've never had someone fall asleep during my interview,
that
Gary.
you know of.
Thank you.
But we go and it's Carrie. I knew something was up because Chelsea was with us and they said, "No, Chelsea goes to lunch with George's daughter." So I said, "Okay, this is going to be big." And when he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to turn over Lucasfilm to Kathy Kennedy and they want to do another trilogy, and if you don't want to do it, they won't recast. They'll just write your character out." Now, I'm like this. Carrie, within seconds, goes, "I'm in!" And again, to show you how far ahead of me she was. I always said she's like 6 steps ahead of me. Later, and she immediately said, "Is there anything in it for Billy?" Meaning her daughter. So, you know, then the meeting finishes and George goes on and we give him a hug and off he goes. And later I said, "Carrie, poker face." Why did you do that? I mean, look at me. I didn't react at all. Inside I was going, "Wah!" But outside I was like this. And you know what she said to me? She said, "Mark, what kind of parts are there in Hollywood for women over 50? And I said, oh my gosh, because as brutal as it can be on men, it's a million times harder on women.
You actually physically transformed for this role.
Yes, I did lose weight. And I think it's a stupid conversation.
Okay,
Not
we'll move
with
on.
you.
We'll move on.
Not with you. I mean, it's good with you, but normally I wouldn't talk about it with someone else. But you're so thin, let's talk about it. How do you keep that going on? Do you exercise every day?
I work out
And
every
isn't
day.
it boring?
Yes.
But you love it.
I try to put some music on to,
What
to
music
motivate
makes
me.
this worthwhile? No, I want to hear what the song is. Maybe I can go for it too.
I love her, and I love her when she drives me crazy, and I love her when she makes me laugh. She's just delightful.
Carrie's an amazing and unique person. She's got an incredible intellect. She's got real courage, real gall.
Ray? May the force be with you.
We'd fight fiercely, and then, of course, like your real sister, the next time you see her, all that's forgotten, and you're friends again. It was that way. I only tell you that because I don't want to paint this glorified picture of that it was the perfect relationship. It wasn't. But I mean, she's certainly unlike anyone else I'd ever met, and you know, my life was so much more interesting because of her.
When thinking about today, I was really sorry that we don't have the other member of our trio here to celebrate with us. But I feel her presence.
But that's the feeling, you know, she's always with us. Everyone really felt that they knew her.
Yeah.
You know, for young women, I always thought, when I read the screenplay, I said, this is so funny. You know, Han and Luke go to rescue her.
Yeah.
She takes over her own rescue.
Yeah.
You call this a plan? She grabs the gun, you know, really makes us look like chumps. I thought, this is effortless feminism.
Yeah.
Because it's not hitting it over the head. She's just so capable.
Yes.
And she's no damsel in distress.
No.
She's certainly no shrinking violet.
No.
And as you know, that was Carrie.
The stars, oh how bright they'll shine on a world the Lord must have helped design. The stars, oh how bright they'll shine on that home we will build in the meadow. Come, there's a wondrous land for the hopeful heart, for the willing hand. Come, there's a wondrous land where I'll build you a home in the meadow.
And in conclusion, Your Honor, I hope I slept with you to get the job, because if not, who the hell was that guy?